Are you content with your life? Or are you really out here in a relationship that isn't doing you any good and that's making you feel unworthy of who you truly are simply because I'm with someone? Hey guys, this is Lovely with LoveliEsteem, and this video is all about purpose. It's about finding your purpose, trying to figure out, what does purpose even mean to you? What does the word purpose even mean to you? For me, purpose means the light within you that cannot be dimmed by any person, place, thing, or spirit, right? It's the innate characteristic, that innate vibe. It is something that you cannot avoid. It's something that you can't set aside. And when you try to set it aside, you don't accomplish the goals the way you thought you were going to accomplish the goals. Because when purpose is in your spirit, when it walks with you, when it talks with you, when it breathes with you, when it's in your dreams, it can't be ignored. It's like your intuition. Your intuition will tell you good or bad. We can ignore intuition, but I promise you, every time we ignore our intuition, ooh, she come back with some kind of donkey punch and change the way you look at life for real, for real. So my thought was, let's really delve deeper into purpose, understanding, where do you start to even figure out what purpose looks like to you? Where do you go to find purpose? And have you found your purpose, but you're afraid to touch it? Have you found your purpose, but you're afraid to speak it out loud? Have you found your purpose, but you're embarrassed because it's not the cool thing? Captain. So we're going to delve deeper into purpose and figure out what it looks like for us, because, baby, I can promise you, there are times when I thought that I found my purpose, and what happened was, what had happened was I wasn't following it. I thought I saw it, and then it did a drive-by because it said, oh, you're going to ignore me? I got you, baby. I got you. So let's explore purpose, right? Let's explore, where do we start in order to figure this out? Okay, so when we're thinking about purpose, first we want to have some self-reflection, right? And self-reflection can be really triggering. It can be super deep. It can be overwhelming. It can make you feel like you're bullying yourself, because self-reflection really, it causes you to not only evaluate yourself in past tense, it lets you know that you need to pay attention. What are your true interests? What if you don't know what that means? What are your past experiences in life, with friendships, at work, moving about your world? The things that brought you joy, the things that made you sad, the things that you did because you were trying to prove that you could be this thing to people, the things that you did that you knew weren't going to bring you any joy. It was out of spite. But the things you did to celebrate, the things you did to enjoy your life, the things that you did to heal yourself, the things that you did to heal your inner child. And were those things interrupted by other people? Was somebody else's energy disturbed by your happiness? And did that interruption in your energy change the way you saw yourself? Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, boy. I had a moment. I had a moment. But understanding what truly makes you excited, the things that motivate you, truly motivate you. Not, I was in a relationship and I broke up with this motherfucker and now I'm going to prove him wrong. Not, oh, we was friends for this long time and all of a sudden you don't want to be friends with me. You know what? I'm going to prove to you. I'm going to get me another degree. I'm going back to get my PhD. You know what? I'm about to get me a house. I'm about to get me a car. I'm about to travel throughout the world. I'm about to live this life. I'm about to do these things. I'm going to get me another man. I'm going to get me another woman. I'm going to get it. All of those things are amazing, right? Like, oh my God, like, yes, get the house, get the degree, make that money, travel, do all these things. But what motivated you to do that thing? Was it you or was it trauma, right? Are you happy, or are you trying to prove to people that you can be happy when, even though you haven't worked on yourself? Like, are you happy, or are your traumas leading your life so that you can prove other people wrong? Are you sad, but you're learning how to mask the things that bother you because you want to prove to people that you're this strong, independent person who can make things work? Like, are you content with your life, or are you really out here in a relationship that isn't doing you any good and that's making you feel unworthy of who you truly are simply because I'm with someone? Are you working a job that is shitty to you, right? And then you're shitty back at it because you just want to prove to people that you could get the job. But now that you have the job, you realize that that shit don't give you anything. It doesn't bring purpose to your life. It is not aligning with how you want to live your life, how you see your life, what you want to do, right? So when we're talking about purpose, we're talking about the things that motivate you, that have nothing to do with anybody else. It's not even attached to anybody. Like, you can't help but volunteer. You can't help but praise your God. You can't help but cook this food. You can't help but help people. You can't help but travel. You can't help but love. You can't help but work in numbers. You can't help but video gaming. You can't help but meditating. You can't help it. You can't stop it. You have no control over that. And when you talk about that thing, that tangible thing that you want to do, it makes you so excited, right? It makes you get goosebumps. You feel like if you don't talk about it, you're going to explode. If you don't, you're thinking about new ways. You're like waking up, trying to figure out how you can improve something. And when you wake up, you feel excited that you get to work on that thing, right? Self-reflection is looking back at all the past relationships you had, looking at the past jobs you had, looking at the past experiences that you had, the past interests that you had, the past passions that you had, and seeing what bridges those things together. What makes you what gives you that movement, that lean back, lean back. You bossing up. Girl, the way you're moving got me in a train. You can't help but celebrate that thing. You can't help but talk about that thing. You can't help but feel joyful about that thing or those things, because you can be passionate about multiple things, right? But what makes you feel like it lit you up from the inside of your body, and the light spreads through every limb, through every eyelash, through every cell of your body. It makes you feel so purposeful and good. And you know that it is literally the thing about you that will set you free. But you may not want to talk about it to other people, right? Because you're like, what if I tell somebody and then they fuck up my high? What if I talk to somebody and they discourage me from being able to do that thing? What if I talk to somebody and they tell me that what I like it's boring? Listen to me closely. Pardon my French. Fuck all of them, okay? Fuck all of them, all right? I'm getting my lady back. I'm getting my lady back. Because people will be irritated by your happiness. People will be irritated by you being steadfast, 10 toes down in what you believe. It's going to blow their mind. They're not going to understand why. Why? What do you mean? But I told you I didn't like that. What do you mean you still like it? But if we're friends and I don't like it, you shouldn't like it. But if we're dating and I don't like it, you shouldn't like it. What do you mean? Oh, so it was an interest of yours your whole life and then you met me and now you can't talk about it? So what are you saying? Are you saying that I'm preventing you from being able to do what you need to do? Catch a clue, bruh. Catch a clue. Anyway, we want to really learn how to figure out what that thing is. And then you want to write about it. You want to blog about it. You want to put it inside of notes. You want to write it in a little pad. You just want to capture those moments, right? And sometimes you'll have pages of information and you're trying to figure out what that bridge is so that you can kind of narrow your outline down. And what I promise you is that most of us, what we're passionate about, it connects, but you just really need to redefine your outline, right? So next up, we're going to talk about identifying our strengths, right? And consider your skill sets, the talents, the things that you can do in your sleep, the things that you don't even have to study for, the things that come to you relatively easy, right? It's just who you are innately, the kind of person that you are. Next, I want us to think about the things that we have to work towards, right? We have to study these things. It comes a little bit easier, but you really have to focus. You have to figure out what it looks like in different formats. Maybe you had to go back to school for it. Maybe you did YouTube University. Maybe you thought about Udemy. Maybe you had EdU. Maybe you went back to college. Shit, maybe you had Google come talk to you. Whatever it was, right? We want to think about what those skill sets are. Also, think about our talents. Do you enjoy making crafts? Are you a person who knits all the time? Are you a person who makes earrings? Do you make t-shirts on the fly? Are you a person who likes to write poetry? Do you know how to code well? Are you a person who just has the gift of gab, right? Those kind of skills and talent. We want to, things that you're just naturally really good at, and then things that you may be feeling a little unnatural to you, but you really love working on it. You love to get dirty with it. Okay. But if you really have a hard time seeing yourself in first person, maybe you can get feedback from your family members, friends, your tribe, colleagues, because they'll see you in such a different way. One, it'll let you know if anybody's really paying attention to you, because sometimes we be out here cutting up, okay? We be out here acting a fool. Yes, we do. But there's people out there who looking at us like, I see what you did. I see how you did that. I see that. Like, what do people come to you and ask you for all the time? And you're like, I already did that. I want to do something else, right? But it can give you a clearer picture of the things that you're talented at that you don't see, that you don't recognize, that you don't always understand, and that you don't own. Because sometimes we don't own what we do because we think it means that you're bragging, or that you're not humble enough, or that, you know, somehow it's a conceited move. But when it's you, baby, when the divine decides that you are given a task and you complete that task on a repeated basis, and then you ignore it because of other people's opinions. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has one, but not everybody knows how to use it. You know what? Ignore me. Ignore me. Sometimes having that conversation with other people will help align what you already thought, what you wrote down, with some of the abstract ideas that you had in your head about yourself, right? Sometimes we just don't see ourselves as full people. We don't see ourselves as the absolutely divine creatures that we are. It's a habit, right? Because we want to people please so much of the time that we don't understand that if we don't learn how to align ourselves with our purpose, we will constantly feel lost because we'll be trying to figure out what's that thing. And you may have multiple purposes in life. So you have things that you are trying to get accomplished, and having somebody come around and cut you down because they're unhappy with their life sounds a little bitchy to me, is what I'm saying. Like, just don't let them do that to you. Don't let them do it. And that kind of falls in line with us setting clear goals, right? We want to figure out ways to define what success means to us from our own point of view, not from reality TV, not from Instagram, not from TikTok, not from YouTube. what does success mean to you? And success means, like, the definition of success can be different to so many people. And it doesn't mean that it's any better or less than, right? Because I think sometimes we get stuck on if our life doesn't look perfect, if we don't hit every I and cross every T on the plan that we made, somehow it makes it so that the life wasn't a fulfilling life. It wasn't a successful life. And that shit, that ain't true, okay? I promise you, some of them I's and some of them T's that you missed, those were blessings, baby. Those were absolute blessings that we needed to miss. Those were doors closing because we were not supposed to touch those doors, but we kept. What they say, you gonna look back? Or what pillar of salt do you want to be? Huh? Are we gonna be pink sea salt? Are we gonna be, we're gonna be kosher salt? Which one? You want to be salty sand? Like what variation? You want to be black salt? I just don't understand. I'm not looking back. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I want to figure out, what does success mean to me? What does success mean to you, right? And do you have a clear understanding of what the meaning of success is for you? And do you have achievable goals, right? Listen, I had to realize that I love to pretend like I'm Gayle King, right? I love Gayle King because not only does she have fun with her job, she is a serious journalist, okay? She don't play games. She will smile at you and yoke you up at the same time. It makes me happy, right? But at the same, in the same breath, you catch her out here on the swimsuit magazine cover showing you her yams. I like that, all right? She giving you all her business. She's enjoying her whole life, right? And that, to me, is a successful life, when you still have such a great connection with your family, when you have a great connection with your spirit, when you have a great connection with who you are becoming, right? And when you can say, I'm sorry, and apologize to your past self, to your inner child, for some of the things that it went through, so that you can heal and bring those different variations of yourself with you on this new journey. So success to me doesn't always look super successful, because through those different journeys, you're going to cry, you're going to feel insecure, you're going to grieve, you're going to celebrate, you're going to scream, you're going to want to fight, you're going to want to, celebrate, you're going to want to praise, right? And all of those emotions can be super strong emotions. And that, for me, means that I have to be strong enough in my vulnerability to break down and have my moments. And I wasn't always there, all right? The woman that you see sitting in front of you, she was like, you want me to cry? Boy, you better start shaving my head, because I ain't crying in front of you. No, I'm not gonna do it. I am a strong black woman. You will not talk to me like that. I got this shit on lock, all right? 20 hard years. I used to have to walk in the snow with sneakers on. Just be ass. Be freaking ass. And I don't knock the person that I used to be, because that person had to exist in order for me to become this person. That person had to exist. Like the old you had to exist so that you could become the person that you are now, right? And if the old you got knocked down, beat up, told they were nothing, trashed, drugged through the ground, you got to heal that. You have to go back and really like cuddle and hug and find purpose for those different damaged ages. And that is not an easy task, especially if you didn't grow up with people who taught you about loving yourself, if you didn't grow up having people around you who encouraged you to really to rub your wounds, to tend to the wounds that happened to you, people who didn't allow you to cry or grieve, people who would not allow you to celebrate, people who would tell you if you cried you were somehow weak, People who told you that you were too loud, that you were too bright, that you were too much, that you were a liar. People who didn't believe you when you told them the truth. That can hinder every growth pattern, right? It can really hinder your goal setting because your foundation is very rocky, and trying to set goals on a rocky foundation already creates like a teeter-totter, right? And that's not the lane we want to be on. We don't want to walk in our house and have that sucker shift all the time, because now we got to glue things down to permanently keep that foundation together. But in our heads, we know that it's a teeter-totter, which doesn't make us feel safe. And we don't feel safe, we don't want to set roots. When we don't set roots, you can't till the soil and fertilize that soil and nurture that soil. But also know that we need to put a little manure on that soil. It's going to stink sometimes, all right? In order for us to get and yield that crop that we're trying to have. And a lot of that has to do with healing those inner wounds, like really talking to yourself and figuring out where you are in this journey. What do I need to heal about myself so that the goals that I set forth in the future they're stable, right? They're on solid ground. We know exactly how we want to proceed. And I just want to say this caveat. Every spiritual awakening is laughed at. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I want to just say this. God laughs at everybody's plans, right? Your spiritual leaders, they be laughing at your plan because they like, look at you out here planning things. If that's not the plan that's already written for you, you might, ooh, boy, I don't want to tell you that. You know what? I'm going to just let you do what you do. We'll see what happens. But if you got to like make a hard left, hold on to that wig. Hold on to that wig. Yes, that's all I'm saying. A lot of people who are setting goals use the acronym SMART, SMART, right? And I always like to take acronyms and really break them down, but we'll do that in a different video. But you can always look it up, right? And it means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals, right? And that's why I always say, are your goals realistic? And I don't mean you're dreaming bigger than where you are right now. I mean, are we really going to be in the Matrix movie? Somebody might, but I know that's not me, because Agent Smiths are outside driving every day. And I'm still trying to figure out whose spirit is in front of in that car in front of me, in that Corolla, tinted windows, 1.5 tires, driving 100 miles an hour, swerving back and forth, listening to Waka Flocka Flame. I mean, you know, I love me a good Waka. Girl, the way you're moving, I'm with it. But how come when I get close to where you are, your car just disappeared? You done bumped up off that exit, causing havoc for other people. Them Agent Smiths out there, them spirits from the Agent Smiths, they hit different. They just show up to agitate you and leave. But like realistic goals. Do you have realistic goals? I went off on a tangent. I'm back. I'm sorry. Because, you know, sometimes driving make you feel that way. But do you have realistic goals? And I don't mean realistic goals in not dreaming or trying to achieve or the measurement of or the relevance of the life that you're in right now. Because where you want to go may be so different than where you are right now. And that is very okay. Like that's growth, baby. That's growth. That doesn't mean that you're trying to leave people behind. It doesn't mean that you are snobby. It doesn't mean that you don't care about the people who are around you. It means you're trying to grow. You're trying to mature. You're trying to stretch out. You're trying to elongate your dreams, your hopes, your wants, your desires. You're really giving your feelings a chance to be, you're really giving your feelings a chance to have full expression. The whole wheel of emotions, right? You're not just like happy, sad, mad, glad, right? No, we're not. We're melancholy. We're elated. You know, we're frustrated. You know, we feel fucked up. You know what? I think that's my favorite word. No, but honestly, we're learning how to expand what we say so that we can absolutely attach the correct emotion to the feelings that we have. And sometimes when you have these feelings of abandonment or these feelings of guilt because you are dreaming bigger than where you are right now, and you feel like if you leave the people that are here now, it means somehow that you've abandoned them. No, baby, no. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to figure it out, and you can take them with you, right? But you can also say, hey, I don't feel that this part of the journey is correct for everybody, right? This part of the journey is for me right now, and I need to really live this. I need to breathe this, eat this, dream this. I need to have a spiritual connection to this dream right now. And once I figure out what's going on with this, I will absolutely come back and we will tag along. We will pray together. We will chant together. We will affirm together to make sure that this successful thing raises everybody up. But there are times in our lives where we have to let go of the baggage that we carry around so much. But we're going to have to go through that bag to make sure that everything we take in with us or that we're leaving behind belongs in that bag. And that's what we're talking about. We dealing with, I ain't say look back, but you're going to have to reevaluate all the things you've gone through in your life to figure out what your purpose is, to make sure that you aren't bringing trash along with you while you're trying to accomplish your purpose, to make sure that you aren't bringing nagging sacks of doubt with you, that you aren't bringing insecurities that don't even belong to you, that you aren't bringing phrases and content that you've allowed to loop over and over in your head with you. Because, darling, finding your purpose can be one of the most devastating and elating things. You might be ugly crying one moment, giggling the next, trying to figure out what you were supposed to do. You're going to have moments where you done filled out 4 or 5 different pads with all this information. And then you may stare at those pads for about 2-3 weeks because you're trying to figure out, well, who going to work on that? Because I got a job, and then I got a part-time job. I may have a kid. I got a fur baby I got to take care of. I want to get my hair braided. That's like 7 hours. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get money for that. I don't want to show people my feet on the internet, but I'm fitting to, somebody got to pay for this. Like, finding your purpose is absolutely worth it. Because even if your purpose is to further your family, it's to further yourself, it's to create generational wealth within your community, it's to figure out how to bridge the gaps between the generations, it's to talk about financial literacy, it's to create femtech companies that advance the business of women. It could be to become the next president. It could be to become the next prince. It could be to become the next, who knows, CEO of your company, right? I used to say I wanted to be a stay-at-home work wife for my husband. And then I realized that I enjoy working from home. That I do enjoy working from home. I don't mind that at all, right? It's just every now and again I got to go outside because I haven't had a tan since 2023. All right. And I don't be out in the sun that way. And like I go out there and then the sun touch me and then my skin be like, ow. And then I call my mother and be like, you have all this beautiful skin. Why did you make the sun burn me? And then she goes, I know, baby, it's my fault. And I just be like, you know, I love that woman because she really be taking it for the team. She really be taking it for the team. But purpose, I want to help you find purpose. If you found this video useful, please leave a little message. Let me know some of the topics that you want to talk about, because I really want to keep delving deeper into who we are as people and how we grow and the things that can make us feel so lost and alone, but the things that we want to celebrate, right? because there's so much celebration in life. There's so much joy in life. There's so much elation in life. There's so much success in this life that we have. And I don't want us to ever forget that. But I want to make sure that we're working on ourselves so that we can experience joy, success, happiness, elation, so that we can enjoy we can enjoy being. We can enjoy being these spiritual beings, having a very human experience, and understanding that we are not alone. We are absolutely in great company. And sometimes we just have to change the channel or switch locations in order to tune in with where we're supposed to be. So you guys be good. Have a good one. Bye.